Hi everyone. I wanted to connect with you at what is a tragic and frightening time in our world. This past Wednesday, our Conservative team used our Opposition Day to keep the government focused on what's unfolding in Ukraine, but also to hold them constructively to account for ways we feel Canada is failing Ukraine and our allies. We are all heartbroken by the images being released from Ukraine in recent days. Our constituency of Yorkton Melville has one of the highest percentages of Ukrainian mother tongue speakers in all of Canada. Myself and my staff have been hearing the concerns of those with family and friends caught in this fray. And I know that my colleagues and I, and many within the government, are working hard to provide supplies and facilitate safe passage to those that wish to flee to Canada. Being an MP has opened my eyes to what has been happening in Ukraine over the past 7 years and what they themselves tell us they need desperately from us right now. I traveled to Kiev in the spring of 2017 and met with wounded soldiers who fought against the annexation of Crimea and the Russian claim on eastern portions of the country. It was encouraging to know there were 20 Canadian surgeons at that same hospital helping local surgeons give care to the wounded while also developing a surgical textbook for future use. I also met with the new Minister of Health, tasked with bringing in a healthcare system with no existing infrastructure, compounded by younger generations leaving to better employment in neighboring countries, and the elderly left with little care and limited food. Despite years of war and an uncertain future, learning of efforts being made by young leaders to remove the oligarchy from within and the effort to clean up the government was absolutely inspiring. In the here and now, these last few weeks have been absolutely overwhelming. As a member of the Canadian-Ukraine Parliamentary Friendship Group Executive, I met with members of Ukraine's parliament and also with the Ukrainian ambassador. What we heard was a deep appreciation for what Canada has done so far, and yet an honest assessment that it was too little, too late. They stressed their need for more defensive weapons, anti-aircraft missiles, support from the sea and the sky, proper protective armor, secure means of communication, tougher sanctions directly against Putin and his oligarchy, and their need for more fuel, medical supplies, and food. They see NATO's hesitancy to create a no-fly zone over Ukraine because they don't want to signal a greater war as giving in to Putin. They were steadfast and politely direct in stressing that what's happening in Ukraine and to Ukrainian people is a turning point for the entire world. I can also tell you that Conservatives have been pushing hard for the complete removal of visa requirements for Ukrainians coming to Canada, something that the Liberals have not been prepared to do for the past years and not even in this crucial time. I want you to know that Conservatives are not in any way trying to hold back the government from taking action to assist Ukraine and holding key Russian officials to account through targeted sanctions. We are working together, but Putin's brutal and illegal attack on the Ukrainian people has revealed a lot about what Canada's falling short on when it comes to both here at home and our responsibilities internationally. With Putin brandishing access to natural gas as a weapon over Ukraine and European democracies, Canada should be doing all we can to shore up our national defense and security, particularly through the development of Canadian energy. We need to ensure natural gas pipelines can be approved and built to Atlantic tidewater. The Liberals need to recognize our energy as vital to Canadian and European defense and security, enabling Canadian natural gas to displace Russian natural gas in Europe. The Liberals have argued that this is self-serving on our part and that it would take too long to achieve anyways. Well, to that I say, this war is a wake-up call, and to deny what we could do to increase security is the selfish action. As for the time required to create the infrastructure, well, again, it's this government's failure to embrace Canada's role in providing clean, ethical energy through the next decades of transition. Their intentional overregulation hamstringing our capability to construct quality pipeline to tidewater in record time is intentional. Putin understands that oil and gas is vital to defense and security and will be for years. He supplies 40% of Europe's natural gas. If supplies are cut, people will freeze, industry will shutter, and Europe's GDP will plummet. Europe needs a friendly and reliable alternative to Russian natural gas, and our Canadian resources are the obvious solution. But so far, Canada has not been able to provide any assistance. Our Liberal government's preference is to virtue signal rather than fulfill our responsibility to the world in the midst of what we must see as an ongoing threat to Ukraine, Europe, and our sovereignty. This government's willing to hold our ability to get natural gas to Tidewater hostage. Trudeau is destroying our resource industries when we have the best, cleanest, most ethical products in the world that is needed now and into future decades. We as Conservatives will continue to demand that Liberals respond more strongly and quickly to Ukraine's needs. We must step up to what is going to be a long-term need for our agricultural products to fight food scarcity and our natural gas for energy security. I want to assure you that we will continue to do all we can publicly and behind the scenes to assist Ukraine in its hour of need. God bless you for anything you can do, and God bless Ukraine.